Hi, welcome to Kelly Bandolo Studios. This is Kelly. Today we're going to be doing an underpainting, and this is the underpainting for this particular piece, and I'm going to show you how I start. I'm starting with a bright red piece because I like the colors to pop through. It's very vibrant in this beautiful, subtle piece. As you can see, I'm warming it up with some oranges that go on top. It's like a sort of a golden color. And in the shadowy areas, I put my purples and violets, which is a contrasting tone for the warm tones. But if you look closely, you'll see that the red is still popping through on everything. That's why I do an underpainting. Underpaintings contrast what you're creating. So as you see, I'm really creating the dark and light part on this particular model, and I'm doing a contrasting color to use as the shadow, just so that we can show you how we use these hot colors. I'm now going along the side of her face also. I did like a back lighting piece, because if you look at anything that's round, you'll see that there's the dark spot, but there's also a spot beyond the darkness that is light on the far right side. So I'm working on all of these layers and layers. I now am using a colder tone on top of it, again as a contrast to the warmer golden tone. It's a light blue that I'm using. It's not something that you notice so much on here as light blue. It looks white, but it's not white at all. It's a very light blue. And that's going to be brought down a little bit later on too. But right now I'm using it to contrast and make a sharp contrast between my shadow and my light. This is what I like to do with color. Okay, so I'm now working a little bit along her eyes, and I'm going to be bringing in other tones. Again, just making a general idea of where her highlights are. Now I'm taking away a little bit of the back, because the back is really she's in a dark room, so I want it to be light where there's dark and dark where there's light. So whenever you're doing a piece, you need to design it according to that. If you're going to be doing anything that requires lighting, think about dark and light and how it plays in somebody's eyes and how somebody will be attracted to it. So again, now that I've darkened that side, I can pull in my very dark colors on her, because it is very dark on her face on that side. So I pull in a little of the dark blue, and the dark blue will work with her contrasting color. She has a sort of a golden tone to her skin, actually. So I'm working on my dark shadow lines right now. All dark contrasting looks, and although it looks like I'm taking away a lot, again, underneath, there's still some of the red popping through. And as I create this dark shadow line, I'm being very careful not to overdo it. And if you look into it, well, the actual piece, when you look up very close, you still see the purple popping through the blue, and even the red popping through that dark blue. That's how pastels work. It creates a very multi-dimensional look. Now I'm putting in the tone of her lips, which are pretty red, and under her neck, which is that color will probably be, as you can see, it changes also, but I need to have the lighter tone popping through underneath there. Picking up that bright blue on the other side because the light is hitting it particularly hard right there, which causes that very sharp contrast in shadow. And the back side shadow of her nostril on the right, I need to pick that up or else I would lose that altogether. You can even see things in the dark. So if I did a very, very dark piece and bring it up very gently, you'll still see highlights in the dark, in a very dark room. So it's important that you don't lose an idea of what dark and light is and how dark. Sometimes it's too bright. Like I very, very rarely use white. I rarely use white because white it's very rare to see actual white. So the bridge of her nose. I need to bring in a little bit more of her color tone, which goes into a green on that side, like a greenish cast is on that side. And again, we're coming now into her natural facial color. Detailing on her lip. Lips are very interesting. We're going to be doing a whole series on eyes, nose, and lips. So stay tuned for more on those and how you create that look of depth. Again, I'm doing the back shadow, the shadow that goes almost, it's kind of going through the center of her face, and then you see her back shadow on the far right of her face. And under her neck, pop that highlight on her left. That's a blue, that's a very light blue, which I love that color. Now I'm going to be working a little bit on the eyes. I mean, eyeballs are never white, so when you look at an eye, the color that I generally use in an eyeball is, there's your white. That's the only time I'll ever use white, is when a light is hitting it. But the eyeball itself is usually gray, a gray cast. So now I'm going to be putting on normal color tones on her forehead a little bit, and along the side of her face that is lit. There we go. Sort of a little bit darker tone, maybe the reddish goes on, but I was putting it on the right cheek, but it was a little too bright on the right cheek, so I just brought it down very lightly, and that's my back shadow. It's a sort of a warmer red tone. Working on those eyeballs, highlighting what I want to highlight just to show the depth, and I'm bringing in a little bit of red here and there. Now I'm just adding some subtle highlights and contrasts, changing that cheek shape a little bit, the darkness in her hair on the left side. And I want to change the background a little bit. Don't want it to be quite so red, but I want the red still popping through, so I have a warmer tone back there, touching it with the gold. And that pulls in the gold in her right forehead color, pulls it all together a little bit. And then I like to sort of put dappling on. I call it a dapple look, which is kind of like a blurred lighting from behind. Put a little color back there, sign it, and we're done. Okay, so this little sketch that I did to show you an underpainting probably took me about 2 hours, and I zipped through it pretty quickly here. But we're going to be doing more and more videos showing you how to do various things on the Procreate and other programs. So if you like this, please like it and subscribe for more videos. We're going to be publishing more than once a week, so thanks for following. See you soon.